Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go away, right? I think
No.
it's going to be a common cold, right? And there's some good things coming. One, we don't know how long immunity lasts yet, right? The natural immunity, right? Because we have to understand that, like, even chickenpox, like, the shit lasts forever. And so, like, we haven't had we haven't had, like, any time to let this mature. Secondly, all available data coming out of South Africa about I keep calling it Omicron. I know it's Omicron.
Bro,
Don't do it. It's going to piss off Colin.
What?
It triggers me, bro.
Calling
the
it
first
Omicron,
motherfucker to do this was Biden when he fucked it up. And then it got into everybody's brains. I want everybody to start thinking about Futurama.
Omicron Persei 8.
Exactly.
Yes.
Think of that. Everybody watch Futurama. Get that shit drilled in.
Omicron Persei 8.
Fuck it. I watch IRL, Tim Pool IRL every day, basically. And Luke Rakowski is always calling it Omicron. And I want to punch him in the face. I hate it.
I want to punch him in the face.
It is such. I've never had anything trigger me more than this. So Omicron. Yeah. All available studies about Omicron coming out of South Africa. Sorry, Larry, I had cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm literally just sitting here just thinking about it. But yeah, everything coming out of there is just basically saying that it's mild, right? So you'll get it, but it's not leading to hospitalizations, right?
Yeah.
And I basically listen to just a wide gamut, right? But this is where I fall. I don't care if you get COVID. I care if there's severe side effects from COVID, right? And so, and this is a very harsh view, but it might be the military side of me. It's just like you have to go do shit, right? Because people are sick all the time and bad shit happens. That being said, what I've always been focused on is like how many people are going. So like if there's a lighter version of this, right, and this is mutating itself out, and one of my friends was trying to explain this to me because he's an actual doctor and I'm not. So listen to me, I'm not a fucking doctor, right? If I had to say it. That being said, the way viruses work, like viruses like exist to remain in humans. They need humans to exist. So they're basically mutating itself down to a place where it could affect you because it's always going to affect you, but it's not going to be detrimental, right?
Like the flu.
Because we've had
or the common cold.
Like the flu. Right, exactly.
Another coronavirus.
So, if that's where we're going, like I don't want to say I'm comfortable, but like and this is why I didn't want them to take any of the powers or exact any powers because they're not going to give it back. So now everyone's afraid. And so now all they have to do is say a new variant and everyone's like, oh yeah, we should shut down. And the fact that no one said you can fuck all the way, like that's why, again, not to just make you guys move to Oklahoma, but I like Oklahoma because like, Oklahoma's like, yo, you can fuck all the way off.
I don't even know the governor's name of Oklahoma, and I love that fact.
100% Governor Stitt. And listen, he's not like DeSantis. He's not like crazy. He's not as good as Robson. 100%.
He's trying to be on the DL and just do his fucking job. That might be nice.
He's running a solid state. What I can tell you is like it was a big deal, right? Because Florida's like an actual battleground state, right? So when the Democrats were like, hey, we're just not going to do anything here, that was a big deal. But just so you know, no one's running against that fucker too because he just said no. Like, it's not happening. Like, our hospital that's close literally had a mask mandate and they rolled it back. They're like, it doesn't make any sense.
At the hospital, bro?
The hospital. And like everyone, like when I tell you that people have this nonsense, and here's the best part: if you want to wear the mask here, no one says anything to you. Just live your fucking life.
Yeah, dude. I don't got any problem with anybody sporting a mask, bro. I actually think, 100%. In retrospect, looking back on my life and looking at like every time there was some kind of, flu or some kind of like circulating virus that popped off in say China or Japan or those kind of South Pacific nations, they tend to sport a mask when shit's going around.
Yes.
And like when they're sick. I kind of like that concept.
It's like common courtesy almost in Japan.
And I kind of wish now like more people would have been doing that in my life. I would like that to generally be normalized. It seems like the neighborly thing to do. Don't be a dick. You got to go out. You got to live your life. You're not dying. But just try to keep that shit to yourself. That's cool.
I would not be mad at it. It would be weird to at first, obviously, because we don't do it. But I think that's... I don't think
I'd be super down with that. So no problem. But like, I know people, to go back to the hospital thing, like they don't have a mask mandate. I know people that just graduated nursing school that can't get a job in a hospital because they're not vaccinated. The opposite, the polar opposite of what's going 100%. On in Oklahoma. That's insane.
And you could just come down here again, and it's crazy because
I already got real estate for you. It's fine.
100%. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be affordable. People
see
will
what
love
this
you.
is now, Larry. It's a campaign.
It's a
con. It's a long con.
It's not even a long con. I'm telling you up front. This is the long plan. I'm gonna buy like 600 acres, and I'm literally gonna.
How many?
Instead of what?
How many acres?
600.
Okay, I'm interested. Go ahead.
And I'm basically going to try to get all my friends to come live in a place, because this is what I realized, right?
Uh-huh. Where's the zoning laws? How small can you chop up that piece of property? No smaller than 20 acres, I would hope.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I think people would be comfortable living in a community. And hear me out. Uh-huh. I don't think people want the acreage. I think people want space to do the things they want to do. So my thought would be take about 6 acres, build a neighborhood, and then take the other 594 and then allow people to live the way you want to live, right? So you can go shoot wherever you want to go shoot. 100%. You can go hunt. You can go hunt. Exactly. Because I don't think people want to be spaced out. I think we need community. I think people are seeing that it's a shitty community.
Yeah.
So what if I took all these great people I'm meeting and then not force them, but allow them to interact with each other? And I think that's when we'll start rubbing elbows in a way and start doing things, right? Because I think ultimately, we want to work together, we want to do it. Right. So I found a nice little piece of land. It's up in Wyoming. It's about 600 acres, and it's about $1.something million. And so
you're going to take your crypto earnings. And you're going to buy this piece of property is what your plan
I'm going to buy it cash, yes. And then everybody's going to come.
Larry, I'm moving to Oklahoma.
I will go. If you build it, I will come.
Yes.
But, like, I haven't even finished, right? So then I'll start the bank, right? And then everyone's going to pay me, right? Hear me out, to build on it, right? So you're paying me out, right? And then you're like, well, Larry, why do you want it? This is just a ploy for you to make money. I trapped you, my trap card here.
Yeah.
No, we're going to take all the proceeds on that, and then we're going to use that to facilitate the living and the growth of the community, right? So paying me through the bank, I'm just going to be the fiduciary for the community.
Yeah.
Because we need to generate and push money.
The dividends go back into the community.
And I am
100%
right now. Because I'm thinking the land use legal side of things. Like, I'm generally not for homeowners associations, but homeowners associations as a concept just means, it's an anarchistic view, to be honest. It's a group of individuals getting together, deciding this is how they want to live in this neighborhood.
They just happen to be tyrannical in modern day practice.
Yes, exactly. And so you draft up your HOA rulings, because what you do is you take this giant piece of property and you plat it, and you have a fucking, let's say you got a 10-lot short plat. Everybody gets 6 acres, and then you have the rest of that 600 acres now becomes a tract. It's a tract lot, which belongs to the community, to the HOA. And so you have a bank, a personal bank, if you will, a monetary company that is formed as an LLC, and you act, the financial part that's your realm. You'd have to figure out how you'd build that company side of it. But then, that allows you to loan the people the money to do whatever, to pay for whatever it is based off of the interest that you're getting as that bank.
Yes.
You spend that money, you put it directly back into the community. That's capitalistic communism.
100%. It's not capitalistic communism.
But no. It's a good. Let's think. I like communism when it's done by like 10 people.
But it's anarchism. That's not communism, because it's
anarchism.
It's a collective joined by individuals. Nobody's forced to be there. It's not.
There you go.
Yeah, it's anarchism.
That's all people choosing to electively enter into that agreement.
And it would
doesn't
be the
sound like it's even a contract
in the world for somebody like me who wants to live that way.
It doesn't sound like it's even a contract, other than the point that you have a house there, so you have connection to that area. Yeah. Why the fuck would you want to leave if you have a house and you have everything that you could want to have on this property?
And by platting it and doing it as lots and things like that, you as the individual that lives there could still have total ownership of this 20-acre square of dirt or whatever. Within the greater concept of property ownership, right?
Yeah, of Larry.
But then everything else HOA wise is just like, no, you just agree to live the
100%.
way we live.
And I think the problem with HOAs, again, is the problem with government, right? And the problem with government is that as you get more people, you lose the choice to have it ran, right? So if we keep it small, niche, and we control who the kind of people coming through, we kind of start making decisions that we're aligned with, right? Yeah. Like whenever you're aligned with the people around you, the decisions don't affect you as much because they go in a direction you care about, right? Like when your HOA makes you pay $70, right, and they get to clean your yard, and if your yard has to look a certain way, but your neighbor doesn't give a shit, or you don't give a shit about your neighbor, it's not gonna be as bad. And like the difference is the HOA is an extra fee too. This would just take the place of your mortgage, right? But you would see your mortgage, build your equity, and then go in to fixing it, right? So the HOA, your HOA is based into the interest owed. So it's not an extra expense. It would be the expense that's going to be normally occurred.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. So it sounds like we're going to have to move to Oklahoma sometime in the relative
He
future.
said it's in Wyoming.
Wyoming.
That's what I'm saying.
Wyoming.
Jordan
We're
said
in
the
it.
same thing. So William Wallace said that he's in too.
Yep.
So
these are all we do some cool shit.
Jordan's texting me. She's like, "That sounds fantastic." She's like, "I'll start a bakery and I'll hire people."
Yes.
So
listen, mandatory reading. I think you guys would love it. I think you guys should listen to Atlas Shrugged.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
And I really think it's interesting the way you guys describe your thought processes on Washington, how you love it so much and you don't want to leave and you don't want to fix it and you don't want to go the way of like I always call her Fat Assy, which I feel is so insulting. But that's how I read her name. Her name's Fatesi, but I always read it Fat Assy.
Fetisi.
Yeah, Fetisi. So I always call her Fat Assy.
I'm sure she has a.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but like if she ever hears this, I don't want to be disrespectful. She's a great woman, and I think she has a great podcast. That being said, you guys don't want to go the way of that kind of abandoning your roots. But I'm more black-pilled, and I think it's super difficult to save people that don't want to be saved. Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready.